Right, yeah, can we have the date and learn objective, please? Oh, date and learn objective, quick as you can, and then we'll get going, okay? Right, okay. So, quite a lot to go through, but at the same time, I think we will be okay with these. It's sort of stuff we've done before, okay? So we're going to start off with just rounding. We'll just go back to just rounding to the nearest 10. So if I've got 473, how do I round that to the nearest 10? Now, if you can round the nearest 10, you can round to any number at all. And this is the rule, isn't it? I find my tens column. Okay, so I've got my units, or ones, I've got my tens, and I've got my hundreds. Okay, so all I have to do is find my tens. This is being round to the nearest 10. Round to nearest 10. Okay. So I find that, and I'm just doing a line before my nearest 10. Okay, sorry, the line the other side of the 10. And it's just this one and only number, this side of my divide, okay, to the right of my divide, is deciding whether this rounds up to an 8 or stays the same at a 7. Now, you all know the rule. 5 and above, you round up. 4 and below stays the same, okay? So this stays the same. So to the nearest 10, we put 470, okay? Now, remember, every single digit after the one you're rounding to the nearest becomes a 0. So this is 470. Now, if this was 478, okay? Again, I underline my tens because I'm rounding to the nearest 10. So I underline my tens. This time, this is more than 5, okay? 5 or above. This is 8, so it rounds up to the next number, okay? So it becomes 480. So you've always got the two choices. You either round up to the next number or you keep it the same. Yeah, so this number affects that. Does it affect it? Okay, we check 5 or above and it does, okay? So now round to the nearest 100. Okay, round to the nearest 100. So say we've got 5, 6, 3, 9. Okay, so first of all, if I'm rounded to the nearest 100, I find my hundreds column, and this is obviously my hundreds, isn't it? My hundreds, my tens, my units, or ones, as it's these days called. Okay, underline my hundreds. Okay, then if I'm rounding to the nearest 100, to the right of that, I'm going to do my line, and I'm going to ask myself, does this number before it affect it? Okay, so if it's 4 or below, it stays the same. If it's 5 or below, above, it rounds up. So this becomes, this is below, 4 or below, so it stays the same. So these digits stay the same. Then every other digit to the right of it, turn it into zeros. Okay, I have to turn the rest into zeros. So 5,639 to the nearest 100 is 5,600. Okay, and really all the rules are exactly the same. Okay, so let's do it to the nearest 1,000. Nearest 1,000. So say I've got this number. Okay, let's go with yeah. Ooh. Okay, so I've got that number there. It's the nearest 1,000. So I've got my units, my tens, my hundreds. These are my thousands, aren't they? My thousands. So I'm going to underline that. Underline it, and then do a line between that and the number before it. This number 79,512, isn't it? Okay, so units, tens, hundreds, thousands. Does this number before it, okay, affected? It's 5 and above, so it does. 5 and above. This is a slightly more awkward one because you can see I've got 9 here. I don't make that 10. So I've seen people in the past do, well, that's 7, 10 because I'm turning the 9 into 10. But when you have to go up a number, okay, when you have to go from 9, sorry, when you have to go from 9, think of this as 79 and add 1 to it, okay? So you've got 79, 80. So that becomes 80. All the digits this side then of my line gets replaced by zeros. Okay, so 79,512 to the nearest thousand is 80,000. Okay, right. What about this one? Okay, so again, to the nearest thousand, I find my thousands. Is my units, tens, hundreds, thousands. Underline it. Do my line, does this side of the line affect that? Okay, if it's 4 or below, it stays the same. So that means it's going to stay the same. So I put the same numbers underneath. I just copy them out like this. Okay, it might seem time consuming. And now the rest of them got turned to zeros. So that's 794,199 to the nearest thousand is 794,000. Right, nice and quickly, please. Okay, have a go at these. Okay, just let you write out the question, and then you can put the answer by the side of it or underneath it, however you want to work. Okay, off you go. Pause the video. If you go quickly with those, please. Right, let's go through them very quickly. Here's our thousand. Okay, oops. Does the 1 affect the 7? No, it does not, because it's 4 or below. So I know that's going to be 7, and all the other numbers become zeros. I'm looking for my thousand. Units, tens, hundreds, thousands. I'm going to underline it. Do my line there. Does the 7? Yeah, this is 5 and above. So the 4 becomes a 5. So the 75, and then all my other numbers are replaced by zeros. Okay, same here. Nearest thousand there. Okay, draw my line. This is a 5, so yes, 5 and above does affect that, so it becomes a 7. Let's do this one underneath. 7, 3, 7, 0, 0, 0. Mark those quickly. Should be no problem at all with those. Okay, hopefully no problem at all. Now, if you can do that, really, we can do them for anything. Okay, and that's what we're going to be carrying on doing now. So then we can go to the nearest 10,000. So if you're asked to go to the nearest 10,000, okay, then all you have to do is, if you've got this number, okay, now I just find my 10,000. So I got my units, tens, hundreds. I got my thousands. These are my tens of thousands. Actually, these are my hundreds of thousands. And then the next one would be the millions. Okay, so to the nearest 10,000, I underline my 10,000. Put in my line. Does this 3 affect the 4? No, it doesn't, because it's 4 or below. So these stay the same. All these other numbers now get replaced by zeros. Okay, so 743,999 to the nearest 10,000 is 740,000. Okay, it's the nearest. Remember, because it's nearer to 740,000 than 750,000. Okay, and the same, the nearest 100,000. Okay, nearest 100,000. If we've got, let's go, okay, so here we have actually got 7,791,234. I'll find my 100,000s. So these are my hundreds. Yeah, hundreds, tens, units. This sesh here are my thousands. This is my thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. Okay, hundreds, thousands there. Okay, underline my 100,000 column. Okay, does the 9 affect the 7? Yes, it does. Okay, so the 7 becomes an 8. Okay, then all my other numbers on this side get replaced by zeros, and that number stays there the same because unaffected. So 7,791,231 to the nearest 100,000 is 7,800,000. Okay, right, have a go at these, and then we will move on to decimals. Okay, we'll move on to decimals quick as you can with those. Just 4 questions. Okay, copy out the question, please, and then pop the answer either underneath or to the side. Okay, pause the video while you're doing that. Press play when you're done. Right, okay, so let's just very quickly go through to the nearest 10,000. So this is my 10,000 column here, isn't it? 47,000. Okay, that's the 10,000 column. So will the 7 affect it? Yes, it will. 50,000. And actually, if we think about it, okay, 47,000, our two choices are 40,000 or 50,000. And 47,000, sorry, 50,000 is closer, isn't it? Again, we've got 867,000. This is my tens, isn't it? So my tens of thousands. These are my hundreds of thousands. Okay, so I put my line there. Oh, 7. Again, it will turn that to 87,000. Okay, and all the others go here. Oh, hang on, I missed this. So 0 becomes a 0. So it becomes 870,000. Okay, nearest 100,000. There's my 100,000 mark. Does the number before affect it? No. Okay, and everything else turns into zeros. 5,451,000. This is my 100,000, isn't it? Okay, because I've got my hundreds, tens, and units, thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands. Okay, 5. Does it affect it? Yes. So that's going to turn that into a 5. It becomes 55,000. Sorry, 55. And I'm just going to replace the rest, each other one with a 0. And here we have 5,500,000 is our answer. Okay, right, good. Hopefully we're fine with that. When it comes then to the fractions, okay, exactly the same rules apply. The decimals. Exactly the same rule applies. Okay, so say for example I have got. If I wanted to do the nearest whole number, let's do that first. The nearest whole number. So that's the nearest full number, isn't it? Without any decimal or fraction. So say for example I got 14.7. Now this is my whole number to the nearest ones, isn't it? To the nearest ones, to the nearest unit, really. So I just underline that. And in this case, I'm going to put my line where the decimal point is. Does the 7 affect the 14? Yes, it does, because it's 5 or above. So the 4 becomes the 5, it's 15. And if you think about it, 14.7 is closer to 15 than 14. So you're rounding it to the nearest whole number, aren't you? Okay. Let's go with, so you can have 143.199. Okay, so to the nearest whole number is my unit. That's the new, yeah. I'm going to underline that. I'm going to do my line. Here, does the 1 affect? No, it doesn't. Okay, so it becomes 143 point. To the nearest whole number, it's just going to be 143. Okay, I don't need to put in any of the zeros, actually. I don't know whether I did on the last one. So just becomes 143. Okay, I don't put in the zeros in this case. Okay, if you do them to the nearest whole number, I think I probably did in the first one. So let's just do one more. 7.513. So this is my nearest whole number. Okay, this is my whole number. Does the 5 affect it? Yes. The answer is 8. Okay, 8. I don't put anything else in there apart from the whole number. And then when we're going for fractions, now it could be, these are generally written, you either see it to 1 decimal place, 1 dp, decimal place, but sometimes you see it to the nearest 10th. Okay, nearest 10th, and it's the same thing. Because if we have a little look here, we've got 4.39, okay, to 1 decimal place. This is our decimal point. These are our whole numbers. So we count 1 place. We do our line there. And this is also in the 10th column, isn't it? So it's exactly that, yeah. So 1 decimal place, we count 1 place and underline it there. Or to the nearest 10th, it's in the 10th column. It's the same thing, isn't it? And then we put our line here. Does the 9 affect the 3? It does. Okay, so that means this becomes a 4, 4.4. We do not, in these ones, we do not put the 0. Okay, if they ask for 1 decimal place, we only put one number after the decimal point. Okay, if you were to put another 0 there, actually that would be wrong. Okay, so remember, to decimal places, you only give them what they've asked for. Let's do another one. 14.1399. One decimal place. I'm going to underline my 1, which is just there, which is also in the tenths, isn't it? It's the nearest tenth. Do my line. Does the 3 affect the 1? No, it doesn't. It's going to stay the same. So it just becomes 14.1, and I do not put anything else. Okay? Only this number, ignore the rest. And then then you can go to 2 decimal places, or the nearest hundredth. Okay? 2 decimal places or to the nearest hundredth. And this is the most common one to ask, because if you think about money, is to do 2 decimal places. So most of the time you're asked to 2 decimal places. So we've got here, let's go with 7.49. Let's go for, let's do a different one for 7.4359. Okay, so it's asked to 2 decimal places, round to 2 decimal places. So I count 1, 2 numbers after the decimal point, and that's where I do my underline. I do my line. Does the 5 affect the 3? Yes, it does, because it's 5 and above, so this rounds up to a 4. So the answer is 7.44. Okay, and then I ignore the rest. Okay, don't need to put the zeros in. One more. So we got 9.399. Okay, so again, 2 decimal places. I count 1, 2 decimal places. This is also the hundredth column, remember, because that's the tenths, the hundredths. Okay, so I've got my 9 there. Does my 9 affect this? Yes, of course. Okay, because it's 5 and above. And again, I need to think of this now as 39. So the 39 becomes 40. Okay, so it becomes 9.40, and I've still got 2 numbers after the decimal place. So I must have 2. I can't get rid of this 0. It's asking for 2. I give them 2. Okay, right. Have a go at these, please. Have a go. All right. Okay, have a go. Can you see all those? Yes. Okay. Write out the question and the answer afterwards. Please pause the video while you're doing these. Press play when you're done. So this moves through these quickly. The nearest whole number, that's my whole number. So I'm going to do my line there. 3 doesn't affect it. The answer is 14. There's my whole number, line there. minus